Hey guys, I'm Nick. I'm the owner of Navarre Kayak Fishing, and on today's Rules of Thumb Inshore Fishing, we're going to discuss the second lure. If you couldn't tell by the video, the second lure is a Rapala X-Rap 08. Now this is a lure I grew up fishing in Ohio. I used it to catch largemouth bass, fishing, caught a lot of crappie on it too, fishing small ponds throughout the area I lived in, fished Lake Erie with it, caught smallmouth there and everything else with it. So it is a fantastic lure. When I first started saltwater fishing, it was one of the lures that I had always used. So it was very, very important that I had it with me, and it was just a confidence thing. Hey man, everything eats a minnow. Why wouldn't a trout or a redfish eat it? And I caught a lot of fish on it. Okay, after years and years of experiment with other stuff, it's one of those lures that you're always going to come back to because it's the perfect profile. It's 3 inches long. They say you can fish it in 3 to 5 feet, but the salinity level will affect that and the type of hooks you use. So you can change out the hooks to get a little deeper or get it a little higher in the water column. It's a great summertime bait, and it's a fantastic wintertime bait. In the summertime, it's a lure that I don't often let clients use because they get a little careless and those treble hooks end up going somewhere. We don't want anybody to get hooked. But if I'm going to fish the Santa Rosa Sound or any of the bait systems in the summertime, I want to use a bait that's very erratic, and that is exactly what this bait offers. So you can get out in the Santa Rosa Sound or any grass flat, and it'll work anywhere there's trout and redfish, okay? Or you can get out there, you can cast it a long, long way. It's only a 1/4 ounce, but it doesn't have anything to catch in the wind, so it'll fly. This is probably one of the first jerk baits I ever really learned to use properly. It's very erratic, so it will dart left to right all over the place. When you pause it, it will stop and then slowly sink. And if you have the right size hooks on it, it will sink perfectly level and just come to a rest on the bottom of the grass or just sit in the sand. And a lot of times the fish will crush it on the pause. That being said, there's no reason to slow down in the summertime because bait, it doesn't move, doesn't stop moving. And a lot of times I see guys go, man, the fish quit biting at the 9 a.m. That's not true. You just have to fish for them in a different manner. You're looking for a reaction strike. And you can get out here in the Santa Rosa Sound, you can get to 2.5 to 4.5 feet of water. You can just work your way east to west or west to east, wherever you're going, and just cast and cast and cast. And more often than not, you're going to find some really, really good fish sitting out there. But they're not sitting out there waiting for a bait just to sit there. They're looking for something, and then they see something and they react to it. They don't necessarily want to eat. They're not hungry. They're just programmed to take the easy meal. So if this bait, one of these little lures twitches in over their heads, it's tiny, man. It looks perfect like a little glass minnow, a little bull minnow, small finger mullet, and they just whack and fish on. And you'll get some very, very aggressive strikes doing this. Now, it is the middle of winter. It's January. Fish have been kind of finicky. And it's a bait that I pulled out in the middle of the winter. We fished the area the other day. There was tons and tons of redfish, but we weren't really getting them to feed. They wouldn't eat. They were very skittish. They were running away. The lure hit the water, they just turn, or they just swim right by it. Zero interest. And I didn't have it in the box with me. And I was fishing. I was like, man, I wish I had it. So I came home the next day. I took it out, and a few casts into the day, boom, beautiful slot redfish. And that was everything I needed to know. This lure will come to a perfect, and it will just come down and sit perfectly in the sand. Oops, I dropped it. And the fish will come up and they'll just tag it while it's sitting there, not even moving. But it's important that you have the right size hooks on it, and it will just rest perfectly on the bottom like so. And I watched the redfish swim right up to it. It looked at it. I didn't move it, and it just opened its mouth, vacuumed it in, and I set the hook. And it was a beautiful 26-inch redfish, and I did that over and over again for the rest of the day. So it's a very versatile lure. It can be used in the summer, it can be used in the middle of winter. It's just important that you get used to the action. It comes in a variety of colors. Like I said, I'm partial to the olive green. Has a little pink spot on its throat. Fantastic color, does a great job. It's fishable any time of the year, and that's important. If you're just you're just learning to fish in saltwater, it's a lure that gets the job done. Does have 2 treble hooks, so it can be a bit dangerous. Might hook yourself a few times, something crazy. Just pay attention to what you're doing, and get out there and catch some fish with it. It's a fantastic lure. Um, it's definitely a lure I suggest for anyone getting into saltwater fishing. It's gonna, you don't want to fish when there's a lot of floating grass, but the next lure will tell you what to do with the floating grass. But the first lure of this series was a paddle tail. Second lure of this series was a little X-Rap jerkbait. Both fantastic lures, two different approaches, and they both get the job done. If you guys have any questions, feel free to call me at 850-264-3957 or shoot me an email at nick@navarrekayakfishing.com. As always, I look forward to you booking your next adventure.